Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing. Today I'm going to be working on my Sunday's Art of Truth for October the 24th. For this video, I'm going to actually be doing the construction of my I Am Grateful journal, and I'll be writing about seasons and about some of those thoughts and concepts and kind of the inspiration for why I'm creating this journal for myself. But before we get started, I wanted to go ahead and do the drawing for the Summer Memories journal. I had 6 people that chimed in and said that they wanted the journal. So I've written everybody's, this is kind of a podunk way to do it, but I'm here by myself. I don't have anybody to really help me out. So I've put these all on a piece of paper, and I'm going to put them in a paper bag because then I have to just reach, and I'm not going to feel in the bag or anything like that. I'm just going to reach in and grab it, and you're going to be able to see that on camera. So I did want to tell you who is in the drawing. So I've got Evie Gurecki, Jennifer Ney from Blue Bonnet, Fox House Creations, AJCA, I think that maybe that's AJ California, I don't know. Your Way Crafting, and Memory Journals by Yvonne. So we had 6 people that were interested. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these in the bag. And I'm going to move the camera just a little bit so that I'm not so close. So I'm going to just kind of shake it up like this. I know this is a really backwards way to do this, but the other time I gave away a journal, I only had 2 people that wanted it. And so it was, yeah, I had one person, and then that person didn't respond to when I reached out. And so then I just had another person. I didn't have to draw a name. So I've never really done this before. So I'm shaking this up really good, and I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm just going to reach in. I'm going to grab the first one. So we have AJ AJ California. So you are the winner of the Summer Memories Journal. I will reach out to you in the YouTube comments so that we can connect and I can get your mailing address. So I don't like doing this. It's really, really hard to do a drawing. It's very uncomfortable, but it's the only fair way to do it. I wish I could make one for everyone. I really do, but I give my journals away more often than I keep them. The I Am Grateful journal is going to be mine. So, but I'll be doing a mini Christmas journal. I'll be doing probably a mini gratitude journal. So please just keep tuning in, and hopefully you'll have a chance to win. But I'm going to go ahead and award that to AJCA. So again, I will reach out and we can connect on how to get that to you. So that is free of charge. And just in case you forgot, this is the journal that we're talking about. It has 55 pages, 4 signatures. It measures 4 by 5.5 with a 2-inch spine. So it is complete and ready to go. So here we go. So this is going to be interesting because I've done one other video, binding video on camera, but I've never done it with book boards. So I've run out of recycled material that's thick enough for a book cover. And all the books that I got, they don't have a big enough spine because I wanted this spine to be 3 inches because I've got 3 signatures. So let me just show you that really quick. These are my 3 signatures. And again, this is using the Almost Autumn kit. And so they're not too chunky. I think they each have, there's 8 pages in each signature. So not too bad at all. So hopefully I'll have more success and not have so much of that gator mouth thing going on. So I do realize this fabric is crooked right now. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this up really quick, and then we can get started. It would not tear. I don't know if it's what it's made out of, but it would not tear against the grain or on the grain. So that was really, really interesting. I got this fabric from Hobby Lobby. That's a little bit better. I'm going to put some ribbon on the edges so it'll cover up, it'll disguise anything that's kind of wonky. So, and then this is the fabric that I'm going to be using for the cover. So I really, so of all the fall fabrics I could pick, this is the one I liked the best. Again, I'm not big into these fall colors. It's not my jig. I mean, I don't care for it, but I'm really pushing myself to embrace the fall, embrace the fall colors. They are gorgeous. These oranges and browns and the reds that come out are absolutely stunning. So again, as I mentioned before, I am trying to reframe the season. So, and this is just one way for me to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set aside this fabric really quick. I did prep that already. And these are the papers that are going to go in the inside of the cover. So this will be the front and back covers, the inside covers, and then this will be the spine paper. And I am going to do, so what we're going to do in this video is just get the structure of the book put together, get the fabric on, and I'm going to sew the signatures individually. So I'm not going to sew them into the spine because I'm really thinking about doing a elastic binding, but I have to get a little bit more information before I try to attempt that. So I'll probably just do that off camera after the fact. So let's get going. So I'm going to use some Tyvek tape because that's what I have. So what I did is I got this book board from Amazon. It's much thicker than I wanted. It was really hard to cut, but this journal is going to follow me from year to year is my hope. So that's the reason why I want to do the elastic binding so that I can just slip those signatures into the journal. And then when I'm done with that journal, I can take them out and keep them and then put new signatures in. So that's the plan. So I'm going to use Tyvek tape to go ahead and attach the, hopefully this Tyvek tape is going to work okay. I've used Tyvek tape before, but the gal I watched that really helped me with this process in terms of thinking it through, she had some black tape. I don't know I think it was cloth tape, maybe bookbinding cloth tape. I don't have any of that, so I'm just going to use my Tyvek. So I am going to stand up because this is going to be tricky. So I'm just going to get this in place, and I'm not too concerned about it being super precise. The idea is just to get it. I wonder if I need a little bit more of a gap there. That's probably okay because the book board is not that thick. We just want to make sure that we've got a good gap there so that we don't have trouble opening and closing the journal. So that looks to be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I need some sticky scissors though. Hang on. Hopefully these are sticky scissors. They will be now. Okay, so let's go ahead and just press that down. And I'm going to use my metal ruler to kind of do this. There we go. And then I'm just going to lift that up and turn it over. Looks to be fine. It is almost too big of a gap, but I think it's going to be all right. So I'm just going to go with it. We live and learn, right? That seems to be a little bit off though, but I don't know if I can shift it over. You know what? I'm just going to go with it. I'm letting go of perfection, guys. I am a perfectionist, so anytime I can do that is a good thing. It's a growth mantra for me. It doesn't have to be perfect. And again, this is my journal, so I'm the only one that's going to be looking at it when it's done. So again, I'm just going to stick my ruler in here like that, turn it over, and go ahead and attach that. There we go. I hope the camera position is okay. It's not super important for you to see close up on this part. So any of you folks that do bookbinding, you might be able to give me some tips. I don't know if that's too big of a gap or not, but we'll just try to be consistent with the next piece so that it's the same. So I had it about right there. My thing seems to be a little bit off, my cut, but again, I am not going to stress about that. So got my Tyvek tape again. It looks like my spine is just slightly taller, which I'm not sure how that happened because I measured them all correctly. So I'm just going to put that down again and give it a press like so. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. That turned out good. So, whoops, sticking to my mat. Gonna give that a nice rub and get my finger in there or something. You can use your finger or the ruler, up to you. Turn that over. I generally don't construct my journals on camera because it's challenging. And then as I get a little bit more comfortable in this process, probably after I get this part done, I can chat a little bit with you about some of my thoughts around this journal, kind of in preparation for the Sunday's Art of Truth. Come on. I always go for more than I need rather than not enough. So there we go. So we are done with the Tyvek for now. I'm just going to get my thumb in there. Just kind of crease that out. I'm going to turn it over, fold over like so. Oops, we're a little crooked there. What is that? Release again. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. So next thing we're going to do is this Tyvek, because of this print on here, it does tend to show through. So I need to think a minute about how I want to disguise that. I mean, it's going to be okay. I wonder if we should put some paper down or just go with it. So let's see what this is going to look like. See how much that's going to show through. It actually doesn't look too bad, and the spine and this area is going to be covered with this material. So I think I'm going to just go with it and be happy with that. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my fabric back down. I already did tear it to size. And again, I always go for a little bit more of a margin for the border than I probably need to. So I've got quite a bit here, and it looks like we got a little narrower up here, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on here. And the video I watched this morning, I'll try to link her in the video description. It was super helpful. She was really concise, and yet she moved through she sped it up in places that it was, that it made sense to do that. And then other places she had it be real time, which was really helpful for me. So kudos to her for that process. So I will try to link her. So I'm just going to get some glue down here, and this is just to get a base coverage over that. And then we'll use some Fabri-Tac also, just to add another layer. Obviously, a glue stick is not going to hold this, so it's just a good base layer for adhering this. So I've got my Fabri-Tac stuck to the bottom of the of the thing here. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get some glue on here, some Fabri-Tac. Come on, don't get all persnickety on me while I'm in this process. It seems to be clogged up. I left it kind of upside down in its thing without capping it, so that's probably not a good idea. Okay, that's better. So again, Fabri-Tac everywhere. And I'm going to just try to do this all in one go, just because I kind of just go in, just jump in. You know, what's the worst that can happen? It won't be perfect, right? And if that's the worst I have to worry about in life, then I'm good. Just gonna get this down here, and sometimes I will gosh, I lost my thoughts, use that, oh, I can't think of what it's called, but it's like an adhesive backing onto my fabric so that it doesn't seep through, the glue doesn't seep through, but in this case I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to turn this over and not drop it. I'm just going to put it roughly in place. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm just going to give that a nice squish. And then we'll turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Like so. And I'm just going to run my finger there on the spine. See if we're good here. Don't seem to be having a lot of seepage. This is fabric from Hobby Lobby. It's not the best quality. It's kind of thin, but it'll do the job. So there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up again carefully. I'm going to flip her back over. And now we can work on our sides. So I do think I want to trim. Do I want to trim anything off? I think we're all right. I'm not going to fuss about it. So let's see, let's think what we're doing here. So I like to go like this. So everybody does this a little bit differently. This is my way, and I've tried it other ways and I'm not happy with it when I'm done. So I'm gonna just stick with what I know. And but I'm thinking we've got too much fabric here. So let me trim that down just a little bit. It just needs to be evened up on this end here, I think. Don't cut the mat, Renee. These mats are from scrapbook.com. They're from, I believe they're Altenew. Love them. So because my fabric is not directional or anything, it doesn't matter that I flipped that. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting this on. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some glue here on the edge, just some glue stick, and just to kind of get going on being able to adhere this. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some art glitter glue here on this corner so that I can fold up that edge. Let me move this up just a little bit. So I'm going to fold that. I just do it at a 90-degree angle, like so. Got my paper towel, whoops, so that I don't get my fingers, I can minimize the stickiness. And I'm going to rotate this and do this corner. Again, I like to do a 90-degree angle, as best I can anyway. Press that with my paper towel. Turning again. I'm glad that I trimmed that down a little bit. That was a lot of fabric. I tend to always cut more, put out more than I need. I've been listening a lot to Brené Brown. I am very familiar with her work, and I've read a lot of her books, but I've been revisiting it. And one of the things she talks about a lot is this idea of living with scarcity, which is that concept of feeling like we never have enough. And I definitely live in that place. And it's partly just because of where I come from and some of my experiences. And so I'm working on that thinking, and that's again part of the idea of doing a gratitude journal, is just being able to kind of hone in on some of those gratitude concepts and change the way that I think about the world and my life and what I have and what I don't have and all of that. So we're going to go ahead and fold this up as well. I just want to make sure that I get the glue everywhere I need to. I'm going to put it right on the fabric on that edge because I never know kind of what the boundary is there. So I'm just putting some fabric tack here. Some people I know use a brush and kind of spread this out. I've never really felt the need to do that. And my journal covers turn out really, really good, so I'm happy with it. I need to refill my fabric tack. I actually think I need to buy some more, so I'm running low. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn that edge up, and I'm just giving it a firm kind of tug up so that I can get that nice and tight in there. And I don't worry about it being perfect on the corners. I may put some photo corners on this one. I've not done that before. Just now occurring to me that would be would be nice. So I'm going to go ahead and move to my other long edge. And I'm going to do the same. There we go. Oops, glue fell over. So again, I'm just going to pull that and give it a tug so that it's nice and tight. And over here and here, I need a little bit more in there. Get that really adhered well. Sorry if I'm a little mumbly. There we go. I'm loving this process. Every time I do it, it gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier, which I am just really grateful for, because it can be a little bit of an intimidating process when you're first starting, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. So that's kind of cool. So I'm just getting some really good glue on here. And again, I'm going to pull and tug. Use my paper towel. And there we go. I need some glue under here, a little bit in that little foldy part. If that makes any sense, where it folds over. There we go. Same here. We're not getting a good adhesion here. I probably should have done that differently, but I'm just going to squeeze some glue in there and call it good. Again, this is just my journal, so, and I'll give you the measurements when this is a little bit further along. So one more edge, and then we can move on to the funner part. So I'm going to put some glue in here so I don't have that happen again. Just kind of squeeze it in there. And then here, here. I'm not a professional, guys. Just learning and loving. This process is fantastic. Okay, so again, just giving it, folding it over, giving it a good tug so that it's nice and tight, and then just using my paper towel to squish that down. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and kind of, oh, I love that. Look at that, guys. I love the width of this. Oh, where are we? Oh, I guess we're not upside down. Now I do need to be thinking about it, because this is right side and this would be wrong. So this is my front. In fact, I'm going to put an F here and a B here just to be sure that I don't get that confused. So now what we need to do is go ahead and put, we're going to trim our papers down. I didn't do that off camera, so I'll probably speed up through that process, but I'm just going to get a piece of this. Okay, guys, I'm back. So I went ahead and cut my inside my inside cover pages and my spine paper piece. But what I did discover in this is that because of the way that I did this, Tyvek is going to show. So I went ahead and cut another piece of this fabric, and I'm just going to attach it here. That's all going to be covered over. Actually, it's not quite short enough because I need it to be, maybe, yeah, I need it to be the height of this. So bear with me a second, guys, while I tweak this. Does it hold the fort? Goodness gracious. Yeah, because we don't want it to be, we want it to be completely covered. So let's go ahead and just pretend here. Yeah, it needs to be shorter because this is the look I'm going for. Because I want those bits to be covered. So it needs to be cut the same height as this spine paper piece, roughly. So let me just trim that up really quick. Should have done that off camera. I have to stand up. Aren't you glad that we get to kind of pause and redirect ourselves and think of things as we go along. It can make for a long video, but I'm not concerned about the length of this video. I will cut out what I can, speed up what I can to make it more possible to watch. So I'm going to start with going ahead and getting this fabric down. So I'm going to start with my glue stick if I can find it here. And I'm just going to apply that glue everywhere here. There we go. And then we're going to also put some fabric tack down. So again, this is going to almost cover all of that tape. I'm going to kind of go, you know, it's all going to be covered, so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my fabric tack on here. I'm going to have to get myself some more of this, though. It'd be a tragedy to run out, wouldn't it? Oh, there's that scarcity thinking again. Working on that. Okay, so we're just going to put that in there. I'm just going to kind of feel where my things are, so that's sort of in the middle. And again, it's my journal, so I don't care about whether or not this is perfect. I just didn't want that Tyvek tape to show. I always forget about that. So there we go. So now we can go ahead and put our spine piece here. Oh, what happened here? I'm still too long. What's up with that? Well, you know what? We're just going to go with it. Again, it's my journal, so it's okay. Just checking to see that it's going to open okay. I did kind of fiddle with that a little bit, so I'm just going to follow that measurement over there on that side. So I'm going to go ahead and use my my fabric tack to glue this piece of paper down. Can't believe that that's still too long. I don't know how that happened. Not a big deal. Oh, I wonder. Font is kind of illegible, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. And since I messed this up, I'm just going to go ahead and have it be messed up on both ends, have it be kind of raggedy. Just going to close that and make sure that we're pretty much straight. There we go. There sure is a freedom in letting go of the perfection. As I mentioned, I am a perfectionist, and so for me to let go of that, you know, that need to have things be just so is really a gift in my life. So, okay, so there we go. So we can go ahead and get this glued on. I'm wondering if I really need to use fabric tack, because I'm only touching I need to reserve that. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue here because I want to make sure I have plenty of fabric tack to get through this process. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it directly. Ooh, what's in there? Yuck. Not sure what that's about. So just getting that right up to the edge. Just using my big bottle because I'm covering such a big space here. I have the little tiny bottle too, which is really cool. So again, just getting this art glitter glue everywhere. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and adhere this. I'm going to stand up again just so I can kind of get over it. Make sure that we're nice and straight and that we're really protecting that spine area there so that paper doesn't get stuck. That looks to be pretty darn good. So I'm just going to give that a good rub. There we go. Okay. I think that will hold really, really well. So let's go ahead and let me wipe this nozzle off. Maybe it's a little plugged. I'm going to go ahead and get art glitter glue on this piece as well. Again, all the way to the edge. I did order some other book board that's not quite so thick because I think this was kind of overkill, but I was okay with it because, again, this is going to be the form of this journal, the cover and the spine are going to be used over and over again. So I think it's good to, I think Bella Creative, was it Bella Creative? Or Rachel and Bella, sorry, Rachel and Bella. She did an elastic binding tutorial, so I watched it kind of late last night as I was trying to chill out and go to sleep, and I need to go back and watch it again and see how she did her elastic. So I'll save that for another time. So I'm just gonna get that in there and then just kind of make sure again that it's not impacting the closing there. Give that a good rub. Oh, super happy with this, you guys. I'm not going to decorate the cover on camera. For me, especially if I'm making them for myself, it's a pretty private thing, and I have to give a lot of thought to it, and it's a very intuitive process. So I won't be decorating the actual front of the journal on camera. I'm hoping that I don't have too much difficulty punching through this to get my eyelets in for my elastic. Didn't think about that. Hopefully it's going to be okay. So there we go. I love it. So now we've got this piece of fabric that I wanted to put on here. It is cut long, but that's okay. So I'm just going to kind of line it up. I actually kind of wish it was longer or wider, because see how it's barely going over. You know what? I'm going to pause, you guys, and I'm going to cut another piece of this because I'm not happy with that size. So just a moment. Okay, I feel better about this. So it's gonna come over a little bit. So it's gonna come over about, I think I had measured 2 inches past the, 2 inches. 2 inches on either side of the spine. So that's gonna be much more pleasing to me. So now the tip is to, I'm going to try to mark this a little bit just so that I can see what my boundary is. That will be covered up. So I'm just going to put a pencil mark so I can see. And then we're going to go ahead and apply some Fabri-Tac. So I'm just going to start with my bead of glue all the way down this edge. I can do a pretty darn straight line, generally speaking. I go over, come down. I have to keep looking up at my computer to make sure I'm in frame when I'm working on such a bigger surface or bigger project here. I have a webcam, so I can just be looking at my laptop that sits on a little shelf here in front of me. And so I want to do another studio tour. I haven't done one since July, I think, of 2020. So I think I'm going to do another one. It's just tricky in my studio because my spaces are really tight. I have a lot of cubes and organizational furniture in here, but it makes it kind of hard to get into the little places while I'm holding my phone to film. So I really need to just get somebody to come in here and hold the phone and let me do the tour. But I'm kind of conscientious too, so not really hip on that. So I'm gonna go, and I did cut this long, so so let's see where we're at here, right there. So I'm just gonna go up a bit, like so. Gonna come down, straighten that out. Perfect. Give it a good squish. I kind of wish I cut off that thicker edge there from the, that's on the fabric, but it's okay because I'm going to put some lace there, so it's going to be all right. Okay. So I wonder if we can trim this up now so that we can move on. Favorites. There we go. Yay. Okay, there we go. So the last thing we're going to do on the cover is go ahead and put some lace on. So I have this lace that I'm going to be using throughout the journal. So I've got this one, but then I also have this one, which I'm also using on embellishment. So I'm just kind of think about which one I would like better on this journal. I really like this. The only thing I don't like is that it doesn't have very much of a border to attach it on. So let's put one on each side and see which we like better. I wish you guys could tell me. But there's that one, and then there's this one. And let's see. I think I kind of want to go this way. Like so. I really, really like this though. Okay, so I'm just going to try to trim this off here really quick. It's kind of a tricky lace because it's got lots of bumpy bits, but hopefully that will be all right. It's still a little bit wet, but I'm okay with it. It'll dry beautifully, I'm sure. There we go. Again, I apologize, this is off camera because I'm on the edge of my table. There we go. So there is our journal. Yay! So we've got front. Oh, it's so beautifully thick. I love it. Love it, love it. So again, I'll be decorating the cover off camera because that's, again, a very personal process for me. So I love it. There's some imperfection. If you look up here, you can see the orange through there, but it maybe just look like the flowers. I don't know. So, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to just pause the camera really quick and go wash my hands off, and then we're going to move on to stitching our signatures in, not into the journal, but together. The pages inside of each journal, the signature. Just a second. Okay, I just wanted to show you really quickly what I did off camera. I went ahead and created my spine guide. I will further add to this once I get ready to put my elastic in the spine, but for now I just I folded it in, I measured it, cut it to approximately the same width as the paper, approximately. I folded it in half long ways, then I folded it in half this way, then I folded it in half this way, and then here to create the distance that I wanted. So so we've got that. And then additionally, when I get ready to put the elastic in, I'll do it this way. So I'm folding this one in so that those are even as well. But I don't need all of that right now because we're just going to sew our signatures together. So I'm going to do the sewing, and then I will do a flip through of the signatures as a final piece here. So let me grab my foam really quick. And one of the tips I got off of the video I watched today was when you're poking your holes, you don't want to have it like this because you want to have it kind of at an angle so that you're catching that fold on every single page. So I've got some clips. Let me just grab some big paper clips here. I've already made sure that these are all lined up pretty much. So I'm just going to get to my middle here and hold that really firm. I've already inked my pages, did some stitching, and again, I'll show you that in a moment, or after we get all the signatures sewn. I'm only going to do one in real time, and then the other ones I'll probably speed through or cut out, because once you've seen one, you don't really need to see another. So we're just going to start with this one. And I'm going to, again, make sure that that's nice and straight and everything is lined up in there. So then I'm going to go ahead and place my my spine guide here and fold that again, get a good crease, and I'm just going to set that in there. And then I'm making sure that I have that the spine obviously the spine guide is bigger than the pages because the book cover is bigger than the pages. So I'm going to start. Oh, I forgot to grab my awl. Hold on. Goodness gracious, let me put these scissors on here to hold that. It's just right behind me here. Thought I was all ready. Where's the awl? I have a pokey tool if I can't find it. I misplaced my needle too, my favorite needle, and I can't figure out what I did with it. Maybe my awl is in here. It's not. I do not know what I did with that stuff. You know, safe places and all. I'm going to use this pokey tool. It works just fine. I'm sure I'll bump into it like right when I'm done doing this, but that's okay. So there we go. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to start my hole here. And again, make sure that that's on the fold. And then I'm going to fold the book and I'm going to go in, I'm hoping to go in kind of sideways, which when I saw the video, it made so much sense why in my previous journals I have pages that the hole is not lined up on the actual fold of the page. So that was super helpful. So I've got my first hole and we've got our second hole, making sure we're nice and lined up. Just going to start that poke and then I'm going to kind of finagle my hand a different direction and I'm going to poke through at an angle here. Hopefully get it all in there. Perfect. That's much better than my previous process. So I wish I could remember her name. I watched it kind of in a hurry this morning, and so I didn't make a note yet of who I watched, but I'll be sure to put that link in the description box. Okay, come on. Just make sure you don't poke yourself. It would not feel good at all. Be like trip to the hospital. Okay, there we go. So now we've got our holes, and look at how beautifully lined up those are. Can you see those holes? They are right on that fold, and on the back they are as well. So epic, epic tip. So I have to work with a needle that I don't normally work with here, and I picked this kind of an orangish yellow thread. So, and I always go for more than I need. So 3 lengths is what is recommended. I always go a little bit more because if I want to have a dangle or something, I want to have some of those strings come out. I want to have that opportunity for a dangle. So I can go, I think I'll leave this just because it takes away from the white of my mats here. So I'm just going to leave that there. And again, we're just going to do one signature and then I'll do the others off camera. So I'll show you, I'll give you a flip through though. So on this one, I want my strings on the inside. So I'm going to start in the middle hole and I'm going to poke on through. And I'm going to leave a nice tail. This is really long, but again, I want a long dangle here. So I'm going to leave it about that length. So, and now I'm going to go up here to the top hole. The only thing I noticed on the video I watched this morning is she didn't keep her pages clipped when she was sewing in her signatures, and I saw her struggle, and I'm wondering, I'm assuming she's thought about that. She's been doing this a while, but I just thought it was interesting that I saw her really struggle with having her pages stay where she wanted them. So there we go. Super easy, super easy. And then we're going to go back up through the middle hole and then we'll cinch it up and make sure we're nice and tight. So again, it's easier because you already have a hole there. So there we go. And we're just going to pull that through. And then we're going to just, oh man, what happened there? I don't know if I just had some, that was interesting. It was very interesting. It felt like something tore. So when you're doing this, you just want to make sure that you have you've got your strings on either side of that middle line. Let me move this up closer, guys. That you've got your string is over that line, which it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie this in a knot. And then I'm going to do a backwards knot, which is always a struggle for me. I don't do things in reverse very well. So there we go. And we've got some nice dangle lines here. So I'm going to go about down here. I can always trim them off if I want to later. So there we go. I can go ahead and release these paper clips, and I'm going to do a quick flip through of the signatures, and I'll stitch the other ones later. The other thing is I'm thinking that I only have black elastic, and I really don't want black elastic. So, and then Rachel and Bella, she did it an invisible elastic cord spine piece. So I'm not sure if that's something I can do. Again, I need to play around and see what I like, but so far so good. So let's start with this one. So again, this is the Almost Autumn kit from My Porch Prints. Gorgeous digitals. And what I did is I believe I chose 2 front-facing pages from the kit, digital prints. I did 3 other items, which I'll show you in a second. And then I did 3 that were coffee dyed. I didn't use I only have 1 signature with an actual real coffee dyed paper. The others are a digital coffee dyed paper with the digital kit on the inside of the page. So this is page 1, and this is going to be, I believe, I can't remember if it was it's not the first signature. I think this is not the first one. So there we've got these beautiful white daisies, and then this little bouquet. And I did do stitching. I didn't stitch on every page. I did some kind of crazy stitching, some zigzags and straight stitching. And then this one is the one I was talking about, where I had the coffee dyed paper out and the digital on the inside. That was just kind of how I kept it straight in my head. And then this is an old music page from my stash, and I just sewed around that and created a little pocket. And this is my second coffee dyed paper with the digital printed on the inside. This is a piece of, this is just scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby, and on the other side you'll see that it's actually, I created a pocket. This is that alcohol ink jelly print that I showed you guys, or I mentioned it in a couple of videos, but I used alcohol ink on my jelly plate and I absolutely love it. So that's just one of the prints. I actually couldn't find the ones I wanted until I already cut everything down, sewed everything, and then I found them. So I'll show you them since I have them now, because I wanted to do this in another video and couldn't find them. So this is another one of the kits, and this was on a 60-pound copy paper. So I just love the subtlety and the grunge of it. And then I did coffee dye I coffee dyed the whole thing, which was really epic. I really was happy with that. And then here's just a green variety of that, which I thought turned out really nice. These were the ones I actually wanted to use, but again, I could not locate them. So, and I printed a digital on the other side. I wasn't exactly sure how that was going to work and how it was going to feed through my printer, but I didn't have any issues at all. This is just a page from a teddy bear book that just really spoke to me. This journal is all about me finding a safe place, a good place to be able to journal what I'm grateful for. And so I wanted things in the journal that were pleasing to me, that I like to look at. So this was one of them. I just love, and it kind of ties in the orange and black Halloween-y thing, which I do not do Halloween at all. But I thought they were cute, and it's again another opportunity for me to try to reframe some things around that holiday and the season. So I went ahead and I put on my brave pants, and I went ahead and put that in. But it's got a nice little verse in here that says, Suzette makes up her furry face surrounded by ribbons and satins and lace. Tonight is the night she's been dreaming of, for she thinks she has found a boy bear she can love. And this evening he'd asked her to go on a date, so she's primping in hopes that she'll fascinate. She put 3 dabs of perfume behind her right ear and has checked how she looks 16 times in the mirror. Her nose has been powdered, her coat softly brushed, and a touch of red rouge makes her cheeks pinkly blushed. Oh, what more can I do? I'll just sit here and wait. And the doorbell rings promptly at 7:45. Now, that doesn't have to do with this image, but I liked the verse, and it actually is a sweet story kind of my husband and I. So I wanted to show you the number. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. So that is signature. That is one signature. So let me show you another one. So this is another one. This is an image from the kit. And this is another one from that teddy bear book. And it's also got a verse in the middle, which I'm not going to read for you right now. But I just loved that I could incorporate that, and I'll have to figure out how I can retain this. Maybe I'll do a, you know, like a page flip or something, or a vellum flip here so that I can still see these words. I really like them. This is another one of the jelly prints. I'll give you a close-up of that. The jelly prints with alcohol inks is just out of this world. Really, really enjoyable. So there we go. And then this is an old paper bag. This was from my neighbor. I have a neighbor that lives behind me who's an artist, does a lot of recycled art, a lot of mosaics and glass artwork. And once in a while, I get a chance to go over there, and she lets me go through stuff and pick some things. I try to be like, you know, humble and not greedy, but I did grab this one, and so I've got a piece of this in each signature, or two of the signatures, but it's just going to be open. It's just going to be a little tuck there, and I'll probably do some thumb notches or something in it when we get to that point. Another page from the kit. This is from an old vintage book from my stash. It's a Your Poetry page. So I really, really like that. And then this is another page from the kit with the coffee dyed paper on the outside. So again, we've got 8 signatures in that one as well. And I believe this is the one I wanted to be the first signature, because I really, again, I don't typically like the typical fall things and colors. So this one was really kind of a pleasant way for me to look at opening this journal every time that I use it. So this is again from the kit. I did some stitching around the edges. Another page, another jelly print page. And this is one of my favorites. Just really, really cool. I'll try to link that video. I actually referenced it in another video, and then I had a subscriber ask or said, oh, it would be really cool to see a tutorial on this. And I actually have one. So I'll try to link it down below in the description box. So again, I just did some crazy stitching around. This is a piece of handmade paper from my neighbor. Again, she's going to show me how to do this. I cannot wait. So I folded it. I took the paper. It was pretty big. I folded it not quite in half. So I've got that little flappy thing. So it's going to look kind of like a folio, or it would look like a folio if it was all by itself. But in this case, obviously, it's divided up in the journal. So that's really beautiful. Another page that my coffee dyed on one side and the kit on the inside. This is a coffee dyed paper from my stash. Another piece of that paper bag. This one I actually, on the other side, which you'll see in a minute, I created a pocket. And then here's another page from the kit. And then I did some interest, and I backed this one with another digital that I got, that I just purchased, I really liked. So I thought that was really cool, and lots of great writing space. And then I just did some funky things with this one, and I did want this one to hang over the edge a little bit. So I'll probably put a tab or a fabric something there to make that really look pretty. And so here, let's look at the other side. So, and then here's the other side of that envelope. It looks like I thought I had closed that up, but I'll have to glue that and make a little pocket out of that. And then let's see what else we have. And then this is the other side of the handmade paper. And that is pretty much it, guys. I hope that you'll hop on over to the blog at B.Rebornart.com and check out the inspiration. Just a moment of transparency. I do share very transparently. I've had a long healing journey, and I want to be able to speak in a way that touches other people, that either soothes people in a way that makes them feel like they're not quite so all alone. Because sometimes when we're going through our stuff, we kind of live in this imagined place where we don't really connect with the fact that other people know what that feels like. And I want to be one of those people that people can listen to and watch and be encouraged that they are not alone. And so I do talk very transparently about my story, not specifics, like I'll make references to like, oh, well, Halloween is not my time. There's a lot of trauma around the fall season. And so that's about all that I say. I don't really go deep, but kind of give a hint of it to create a space where people can feel again, not alone, as well as there are people that are probably watching this that have had traumatic history, and art is a very healing component of the healing journey, and it has been a life-saving gift for me. And so I want to be able to share that gift with you guys. And part of that is being vulnerable and transparent and authentic in terms of I am imperfect. I struggle with a lot of things. I have not arrived, but I also don't want to do this alone anymore. And so being able to share bits and pieces through my art is a way for me to experience some redemption in that, in my history and in my story. So if you want to read more about the inspiration for this journal, you can hop on over to my blog. Again, that link will be in the video description. I just link directly to my blog because I have the list of supplies there and I have all the close-up photos. So it's really useful for people to kind of get all that stuff in one place. So thank you guys so much for watching. Blessings to you as we enter into this season. And I look forward to creating with you ephemera and other things for this piece. So thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.